What is up, DTube? What is up, Steam blockchain? So today I just want to do a quick little video that was inspired by. So I was looking at Marquis Brownlee's video about 5G on YouTube, where it was like you saw that the only way 5G would be amazing is if you stand right outside of a pole, and then you can get like 1 gigabit or like 2 gigabits per second speeds or something like that. And maybe that is, I don't know, like 10 to 20x 4G speeds. But then, first of all, it's like you have to stand right next to a 5G pole and just to download a video 10x faster. I mean, it's like, and you have to set up these poles everywhere. It's like, really? That kind of inspired this video, because what I want to talk about is the concept of, or the topic of, even if you make money quick, you still have to wait for the world to catch up. And this is something that you can apply on almost anything. Even if you, let's say, like if we go back in time, when you were the first guy with a sports car, or no, the first guy with, let's say, just a regular car, and everyone else was running on horses. It was like, even if you're the first guy with the car, you still have to wait for the world to catch up. Where if you try to run that car on the horse where people are riding their horses, they're gonna look at you as silly. The road is not designed for that. There's too many horses in place, and they're just gonna look at you as a weirdo. And that is kind of like how it's kind of funny where moving into this world where everyone is like connected, and it's like, even if you're massively connected and the world is like trying to catch up to that, like you have to wait for the world to catch up before you can, let's say, enjoy kind of like the experience that maybe you want to have. So it's the same thing with like crypto or any sort of money thing. It's like, even if someone makes it big, like super fast, it's like, yeah, but you still have your life, right? And you still have like that billions of people are still like, they you still have to wait for them to catch up before you're gonna get this amazing infrastructure. And I also saw with this video, it was like how much you realize how overhyped 5G is, and that it's like the market is basically for trying to sell some amazing idea that something is going to change everything, and then you realize, well, we don't really need this. I mean, it's like it's the same thing as you see with a lot of phones these days. Like when a person has a smartphone right now, they mainly can do the same tasks as everyone else. So one person that has a $200 phone can do the same thing as someone with a $1,500 phone. I mean, it's pretty identical. It's pretty hard to sell, or it's going to be harder to sell the idea that you can do something super exotic with the $1,500 device that you can't do with the $200 device. And the main reason for this is software, and that money also is like becoming now software. When you make stuff into software, it kind of becomes abundant. There is no real limit then anymore, because software, you can replicate it. People can try their own systems to try to improve stuff. And it's kind of interesting, this open source thing, how it affects all industries, how you have these, like, start off with these closed silos, and this comes down to any industry. Especially we're going to see it in the transporting industry, where, for example, instead of having to go to a store, and this was something that I was thinking about a couple of years ago, instead of having to go to a store Like can't most when everything is kind of smart and everything has their own sort of sensors, can't the products basically sell themselves? So if you have these mini robots that sort of transports everything, and humans transport everything, because most cars basically they have a lot of empty space in the back. So usually when people are driving around with their car, they could actually transport a lot of stuff. So you don't need big trucks for that. You can have small robots that can transport stuff. That basically means that eventually you can make it so products can sell themselves. Like they can know where to be. Instead of having them sit at one place where it's not really doing that much, where humans have to go to that place. Instead, you can just have it so the products basically becomes alive with smart technology that sort of determines, knows where something should be and how to better organize things. And this can really be amazing in terms of mobility. So this open source thing truly is gonna change every single industry, and it's kind of interesting how people have to wait for others to catch up, and that what you basically can money is basically a lot. It's a fancy idea, right? People usually get a lot of hope about the future, or maybe something that they want to buy. It's like almost like they can piggyback on the idea of money, and then they get fancy ideas in their mind. But when you really take a look at it and you see that you basically dematerialize all aspects of life, it's probably going to, that idea that people had about money is probably gonna change a lot, and they're probably gonna look at way more, look at other things in life, look at what they really want to do, and can focus fully on that. And yeah, that's gonna be it's going to be interesting to see that play out, where you're gonna have sort of this, you can call it utopian, but you can already see it right now in terms of how much time people have over, and that most people just, like, they have a lot of time, they're sitting with their devices, but they don't have like token-based systems at the moment. So it's going to be really, really interesting when you start connecting the whole network together. And it's going to be as what I said in the past, that either everyone succeeds or everyone fails in the long run. And that in the long run, just because we're playing with intelligence, it should eventually sort of balance stuff out. So people that still want a little bit more, yeah, they can go for that. But I don't think majority will care that much beyond like their, when they have a comfortable life and stuff like that. I don't think most people will be so like, as we're seeing right now, people can be super intense about trying to get something. But I think that when most people see that, oh, it's pretty cool, it's pretty chill, stuff is pretty much taken care of, then I don't think most people are going to be so obsessed about that specific thing, and people can just focus on whatever it is that they want to do. So yeah, people basically have to wait for other people to catch up. So even if they make it super fast, it's like a lot of people think it's like a race, and I've seen this a lot in let's say the crypto community, that it's almost like people want it almost to be a race, that some people are going to succeed way more than others, what I think is gonna happen is it's gonna be way more of a flat hierarchy eventually, where everyone just have like a distributed intelligence that they need, and it's just gonna be better. That is what I think. I don't think we're gonna see this like super extreme hierarchy going the other way. I actually think that, you know, when people have access to the basic stuff, it's good. It's really, really good. But of course, it can go in many ways. But it's kind of fun how you have this waiting for the world to catch up thing. And I think in many ways it's sort of good because these people that sort of make it to some whatever goal they want pretty quick, they can sort of start to look at many aspects of life that maybe other people don't really have time to look on. So sort of the more free time people have, the sort of more can they observe stuff and consider stuff in ways that they didn't consider in the past, because it was just like technology wasn't there. It was sort of hard to imagine certain things to happen. But as more people have free time, they can really start to look at making all systems better and not just the monetary system. So it's going to be interesting to see, especially transporting, to see how much better you can do it. It's going to be interesting to see everyone sort of be connected to artificial intelligence, and it's interesting to see apps being right now updated every day, becoming better and better and better, and it's really just the future in many ways is sort of already here. It's like, even if a person does nothing, apps will become better, smartphones will become better, and it's like greed in many ways is gonna make stuff better, right? Which is kind of interesting, and people sort of benefits because people can sort of look at stuff and, okay, this software is sort of better, this hardware is sort of better, I can sort of see that, and a lot of people can sort of see that, and yeah, so there's going to be a lot of it's not really a race because it's individual realm. It's not a physical race. I can sort of buy that idea that if you are in the physical world and you sort of racing on a track, then it's kind of like a race. But the virtual world, how can it be a race? Is there sort of some end point, some sort of finish line? I don't really see that. So, and exponential growth is really going to take a lot of people by surprise. It takes me by surprise. Just because it really takes you by surprise because of devices getting twice as good or something like that every 2 years or so. That's really does caught you by surprise. So that's what I want to talk a little bit about today. That, yeah, even if you make money quick, and now when money is just virtual, still have to sort of wait for the rest of the world to sort of catch up, right? And that's what I want to say in this video. Have an awesome day, DTube and the Steam blockchain. Bye bye.